Loretta Swit. Loretta Swit dies at 87. Loretta Swit, the actress and animal activist, forever known for her pioneering turn as the disciplined Major Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan on the acclaimed CBS sitcom MASH, has died. She was 87. According to a police report, Swit died just after midnight Friday of suspected natural causes at her home in New York City, her publicist, Harlan Bowl, announced. Swit won 2 Emmys for her portrayal of the Army nurse. She was nominated 10 times, every year the show was on the air except the first, and appeared on 240 of the series' 251 episodes during its sensational 11-season run. Adapting the character from Sally Kellerman's film portrayal of the lusty powerhouse, Swit was one of only 2 actors, along with Alan Alda as Hawkeye Pierce, to have a role in both the pilot and series finale of MASH. That finale, which aired February 28, 1983, attracted a record of nearly 106 million viewers, and a 35-second kiss between Swit and Alda during that episode has been called the most expensive in television history, based on its length and the ad revenue per minute. As a tough by-the-book major, Swit's Houlihan was a rare, strong woman on television. She was unique at the time, and in her time, which was the 50s, when the Korean War was happening. Swit said in a 2004 discussion for the TV Academy Foundation website, The Interviews, An Oral History of Television. And she became even more unique, I think, because we allowed her to continue to grow. We watched her evolve. I don't think that's ever been done in quite that way. Bolstered by her MASH fame, Swit performed in a number of movies, including Freebie and the Bean, 1974, Race with the Devil, 1975, and Boardheads, 1998. She also was hilarious as Polly Reed, a Sue Mengers-type agent in Blake Edwards' satire of Hollywood SOB, 1981. Swit starred alongside Tyne Daly on the 1981 pilot for Cagney and Lacey, but because of contractual obligations to MASH, she could not continue when the cop series was picked up by CBS a year later. After Meg Foster played Cagney in the 6-episode first season, Sharon Gless took over the role. Active in theater, Swit starred as one of the Daffy Pigeon sisters during the LA run of Neil Simon's The Odd Couple that starred Don Rickles and Ernest Borgnine as the ill-matched roommates. In 1967, she starred in a national tour of Any Wednesday with Gardner McKay. 8 years later, she made her Broadway debut in Same Time Next Year opposite Ted Bessel, That Girl. She also played on Broadway in The Mystery of Edwin Drood. Loretta Jane Swit was born on November 4, 1937, in Passaic, New Jersey. She studied at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York and performed in repertory. Swit moved to Los Angeles in 1970 and landed TV gigs on such series as Mission Impossible, Mannix, Gunsmoke, and Hawaii Five-0, and in the women's lib film Stand Up and Be Counted, 1972. Those parts led to Swit being considered for MASH, produced by Fox. I had done a guest starring role in the premiere episode in 1971 on Glenn Ford's CBS series Cades County, which was short-lived, but it was a wonderful role, she said. The network people, as well as Fox, knew about me, and when the part came up, they thought of me. Swit always pushed for Houlihan to grow in maturity and complexity. Her character cut off her affair with the lipless wonder Frank Burns, Larry Linville, to marry a soldier she could be proud of, Lieutenant Colonel Donald Penobscot, though they quickly divorced, and revealed her vulnerability to those under her command in the Season 5 episode, The Nurses. She was the head nurse, and her ambition was to be the best damn nurse in Korea, and I tried to help her achieve that, Swit recalled. But in The Nurses, Houlihan's conflicted relationship with authority comes into focus when, in a memorable monologue, she confronts her subordinates for not including her. That woman was so lonely, and she was trying to do such a good job, and nobody appreciated her, Swit recalled in a THR oral history that marked the show's 35th anniversary. Gene Reynolds, the show's executive producer, called me the next morning after shooting it and said they'd watched the dailies, and my scene was last. When the lights went up, everyone was sniffling, she said. He asked the projectionist to run the scene again. The lights go out, and they watched it again. The lights go up, and everyone's still crying. He says to everyone, "Is that the best thing you ever saw?" Swit was able to carry those kinds of dramatic moments with her character throughout the series. I was allowed to continue to grow, she said. I didn't bounce back to where I was before you saw this happen to her." She noted that the cast was tight-knit from the very start, and things got emotional when they shot the finale. One especially touching moment comes when Swit and Harry Morgan, Colonel Sherman Potter, say their goodbyes. "We could hardly rehearse," she told THR. "I had to look at this man whom I adore and say, 'You dear, sweet man, I'll never forget you,' without getting emotional. And I couldn't. I can't now even." Morgan died in 2011. It wasn't words on a page. You knew what you were saying was truth. Swit became the first MASH cast member to visit Korea when, in 1988, she hosted the syndicated documentary Korean War: The Untold Story. The doc combined interviews with American veterans and combat footage, and was released in conjunction with the 35th anniversary of the truce that ended the fighting. Apart from her acting career, Swit was an active supporter of animal welfare, serving on the boards of Actors and Others for Animals and the Wildlife Way Station, and as a spokesperson for the Humane Society. In 2016, she founded Swit Heart Animal Alliance, a non-profit dedicated to ending animal cruelty. She used proceeds from her original artwork to raise funds. Swit also was host of the cable documentary series Those Incredible Animals in 1992, and teamed with MASH co-star Mike Farrell, B.J. Hunnicutt, to host the 1986 PBS special Saving the Wildlife, which highlighted efforts by Jane Goodall, Brigitte Bardot, and Prince Philip to protect endangered species. Swit was named Woman of the Year by the Animal Protection Institute and the International Fund for Animal Welfare. She testified before Congress in 1999, speaking out for the prohibition of crush videos, productions where insects and small animals are squashed on screen. She was active in the Chicago theater community and performed the one-woman play Shirley Valentine more than 1,000 times. She received the Sarah Siddons Award in 1991 for her theatrical contributions, and in 2003 joined the touring cast of the Vagina Monologues. That same year, she played the title role in a North Carolina production of Mame. She had starred as Agnes Gooch in 1968 in Las Vegas after serving as an understudy on the Broadway show headlined by Angela Lansbury. Swit said her career came full circle when, in 1994, she guest starred on Murder, She Wrote alongside Lansbury. "Angie is one of 2 fan letters I've ever written in my life. The other was to Robert Mitchum," she recalled. She was just dazzling in Mame. Years later, when we met at a CBS function, I said, "You probably won't remember this, but when I was in New York, I don't think I got further than that." And she stopped me and said, "I still have that letter." A talented singer and dancer who had been enrolled in dance classes as a youngster, Swit also performed on The Muppet Show and in a number of musical TV specials. And she was a game show regular on Match Game, The Hollywood Squares, and the $10,000 Pyramid. In 2019, after a 21-year absence, she returned to the screen in the religious film Play the Flute about a youth group. Swit was married to actor Dennis Houlihan, whom she met on the set of MASH from 1983 until their divorce in 1995. Donations in her memory can be to Actors and Others for Animals or the Swit Heart Animal Alliance, which she set up to protect, rescue, train, and care for animals and preserve their habitat. She recently created a fragrance and a necklace, the sales of which supported her efforts. When asked about the continuing impact of the show that made her a household name, Swit brought up a telegram from a fan. It said, "Dear MASH folk, you made me laugh. You made me cry. You made me feel. Thank you. I've never forgotten that," she said. "That's one hell of a legacy."